Movies and TV. Do you enjoy watching movies or TV shows?
Oh, for me personally, I'm a person who enjoys a TV shows instead of movie because first of all, movie is kind of short, towards my opinion, because yes, even though there's a different type of series of movies, however, we have to wait like nearly a year for each type of series to come out. However, when it comes to TV shows, especially like drama or entertainment, at least they're broadcasting once a week. So there is still a shorter period of time that I just have to wait and enjoy it more, in my opinion.
What kind of movies or programs do you like the most? Do you like most?
Uh, well, when it comes to TV, I just enjoy watching sports mostly. And if it's other genre, I'll say maybe like entertainment, like mostly like comedy shows as well. However, when it comes to movies, I really like uh very like fiction movies. So it's very creative and imaginary.
Okay. You prefer watching movies at home or in the cinema?
Actually, I'm a person who really enjoy watching movie in the cinema because there's an atmosphere that the cinema gives that you cannot get it at home or otherwhere else. And also the sound quality, of course, cinema is way better. However, the most biggest difference watching from home and from the theater or the cinema is the screen size of the theater, I'll say.
How often do you watch TV or stream shows online?
If it's online, I usually watch it nearly every day because first of all, I'm a person who really enjoy watching TV, especially entertainment. So even though like when I'm working out or when I'm driving, I put it up it as a radio mode and then listen to it while driving or going to work.
Mm. Okay. Has your taste in movies or shows changed over the years?
When it comes to TV shows, yes, it's changed rapidly because when I was young, I really liked to watch. I really enjoyed watching like cartoons or animation. However, as soon as I'm growing, I prefer to look at like more like documentary videos, like science or history. However, when it comes to the movies, it's always the same, in my opinion. Watching like those s- fiction movies like Avengers and stuff.
Okay, right. Good. I'm going to send you a topic and I would like you to talk about that topic for 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you. Just a second, yeah. Now, describe a movie or TV show that you really enjoyed. You should say what it's about, when you watch it, and I mean who you watch it with, if anyone, and explain why you liked it so much. 1 minute begins now. One minute is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Well, TV shows, there are too many, so I'll just talk about the movie because I think that's very specific. Um, my all-time favorite film, I will say, is the Avengers, the Endgame. This is because basically the Avengers Endgame is basically about, as many people know, like superheroes like Iron Man or Captain America getting together to fight the villains. Uh, I watched it when in the theater with my brother, and because we both are a big Marvel fan, first of all, and also I really enjoy watching Avengers because first of all, I'm a person who really likes very has a lot of actions and effects in the movies. And since young, I grew up watching Marvel comics, movies, and series as well. However, this one I really like this specific series more because usually if you watch like those superhero movies, it just gives entertainment. However, this episode or this season, it gave me a emotional attachment towards it because this movie is very emotional. I cannot tell specifically because I do not want to spoil it. However, yes, it's very emotional. I cried a lot too during the movies, and also it also reminded me of my childhood as well. That's why.
Okay. Okay, part three. Why do people enjoy watching movies and TV shows?
Well, it depends what kind of genre they're watching. However, I think the major reason is first of all is for the entertainment. Because yes, of course, there are many movies based on the books as well, such as Harry Potter or the Games of Thrones. However, it gives a different atmosphere or feelings when you read the books and when you actually watch it. Because yes, I'm a person who read a lot of comic books, especially Marvel, as mentioned before. However, comics, there is a limit when it comes to action. Yes, we still get to use our creativity when reading it, but not fully. However, when we watch the movies, it just feels like the comic books that we were reading since when we were a child or like recently have became into a real life style movies. So it kind of creates more special attachments and entertainment
Mm,
and also a kind of twist when it comes to a different bit of adjustment in the storyline, in my opinion.
okay, right. How has the movie and TV industry changed in recent years?
Well, movies, I cannot really say it because movies, there are different genres and there are different age groups that are allowed to watch it. So I think it's kind of how consistent. However, when it comes to TV series or entertainment, because of there are too much regulation and restrictions going on, it's not much entertaining as before. Because, for example, and I'm from Korea, so I'll give an example of a Korean entertainment. Before that, in the Korean entertainment, there were less restrictions and less policies or less regulations. So they could actually literally say and do whatever they wanted to do. No regard in a limit though. However, these days you cannot do as much as they can do. So they are usually scripted so they can actually behave themselves in the entertainment. So it's not much as entertaining and realistic as before.
Do you think watching foreign movies helps people learn about other cultures?
In my opinion, I do not really believe that watching foreign movies can adapt their cultures because basically movies should be entertaining. So of course there will be some adjustment and exaggeration in the movies. And for example, if you look at many movies that features America, for example, they're showing that Americans people they just always go out for like Chinese foods or they just go out for like a burger or a pizza like that. So it's kind of creating a stereotypical images, even though in America it's not always like that. So I think like movies are just there for the entertainment, not to actually learn their culture, unless it's very a historical movie, in my opinion.
Okay, right. How do movies and TV programs influence people's behavior or opinions?
Well, I think first of all, it could be a kind of sensitive topics, maybe. However, first of all, I think it does kind of impact on the people's behavior because let's imagine there's two people. First, one person who watch only a violent movies, and second is who only watch a movie that is all about music, let's say. So eventually in the future, it's more likely to be that the person that who only watches violent movies become more bit of aggressive because of a first of all, they've been only watching those kind of movie in their whole life. So it will become unknown, it become normal for them to see and experience those anger or the aggression. And for those who people always enjoy watching a music videos, a films, or like a musical, they will eventually become a person that who really enjoys like musical and then be very kind of very creative, in my opinion.
Should videos, okay, kiss me. What do you think the future of cinema and television will be like?
Oh, well, being very honest, right now the TV shows and theaters they are kind of having a too much pressure from the social because there are too much genders like LGBT going on in the societies. And if you look at the themes, they are trying their best to feature all of those genders in their movies. So it's kind of getting a kind of obvious and less entertaining as before because we can somewhat already expect it. So, through my opinion, I think in the future it could somewhat can get worse than this because it's already the regulation and the policy is strict enough. But in the future, it will get way more stronger, and the social pressure will be much more harder to the movie industry or the entertainment.
Okay, right. So that is the end of IELTS speaking test.